I joined the military in 2003. I was 2 weeks after I turned 18. I'm from a small town, so I wanted to, get out and see the world and see what everything was really about. My first duty station was in Korea. 6 months after getting to Korea, we found out that we were going to deploy to Iraq. To Ramadi, it was where the main unit was going, and my squad broke off and went to Habbaniyah. We came back home to Fort Carson, Colorado, prepping for our next tour. And we went to FOB Loyalty. It's the southeastern corner of Baghdad. We ended up staying for 15 months. The majority of the tour, I was going around to different combat outposts within Baghdad and setting up security systems to lessen the burden of the soldiers there pulling security. I would meet with the battle captain. We'd have a Google Earth printout, and we'd mark where they were taking fire from, and that would, take from 8 to 10 guys on guard duty to one at a computer screen. After my second tour, I was there for a year without coming home. So that was one of the deciding factors in me getting out of the military. Also, I was struggling with alcohol at the time and getting in some serious legal trouble. After I got the alcohol out of the way, I knew it was time to really focus on what I wanted to do. So I came to MJC and just enrolled and just kind of get the process going and see what I wanted to do. I decided that I liked it and picked my major, which is sports medicine.
I joined the Army in 1981. I retired in 2003. I served for 21 years and 7 days. The whole time I was a military policeman. Many people change their jobs throughout their career. I kind of liked my job and I kept it. I deployed numerous times to numerous locations, from humanitarian action to combat. I went to Panama, I went to Kuwait, I went to Saudi, to Somalia. My favorite job in the Army was the squad leader position. That was the most fulfilling. It was a good number, easy to manage, 12 people you can get very, very familiar with quickly. When I came to MJC, I was amazed at the size of the office, at the number of employees. Most importantly, the knowledge of Miss McKenzie. She is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to VA benefits, applications, applied schedules, whatever.
Almost 5 years active duty in the United States Army, and I did about 4 years, 4.5 years in the Army Reserves. I was, 36 years old, and I decided I'm going to go back to school. I didn't know about the Chapter 31 veterans had, so I had to do it. It was all out of pocket for my first almost year. Then I decided Modesto because it was a cheaper place to live. And so here I am, MJC, 2.5 years later, ready to go to Stan State next semester. So the Veteran Center is a really good resource. It met a lot of good people there.
My dad was airborne, my grandpa was airborne, both Army. So I went to the Marine Corps recruiter and I was like, hey, I want to do something awesome. And my dad didn't know until I got home that afternoon from work that I was leaving 2 days later. So it was pretty exciting for me, but a big shock for my family. I went to Iraq in July 19th of 2007. So a year after being in the Corps, I was on a plane over there. So I was only 19 years old. I got blown up twice, once in a Humvee and once on the ground by mortars. I took some trauma to the head, and so after that we came back. I lost a few of my good friends over there. I got out in July 19th of 2010, and I was back in school August 27th of 2010. So, barely over a month out, and I'm going back to school, and man, let me tell you, probably one of the hardest things I've ever done is go back to school after being out for 4 years. You have no sense of communication skills whatsoever after being in the military. You have no filter, and dealing with people was the hardest thing I had to deal with, was putting up with civilians and them not understanding what you go through and everything that I've done and seen over there. And, it's just one of those things that people don't understand, and nobody will understand unless they've been through it. And that's why I found Carol and Ron very helpful through my times here at MJC, and I knew I could go to them and talk to them. And then I helped them, get the Veterans Resource Center started, and we really sat down and thought about it, and it's really been a blessing to have this resource center, because I mean, you can ask any veteran on campus, and anyone that's went to it, they've came out of there with a positive attitude.